few minutes late on starting my show today, and the reason why I was a little bit late because my sister in Alabama, Joanne, had a light stroke, and she's young. Well, by our family standards, she's one of my young. She's next to the youngest. Well, she's the third from the last, so she's my mom's 11th child. And if y'all know Erica Holt, that's my niece, and that's her mom. And of course, my sister had she started having mobility problems and problem with her arms and things like that. So I say the good thing in this is that she worked right across the street from Crestwood Hospital in Huntsville, Alabama, and so one of her coworkers noticed her problems and took her to the hospital. Of course, that was days ago, and she's been admitted ever since then. She had a light stroke, and I gotta tell you, like I went up there, and my sister Rhonda called me, and when my sister Rhonda called me, she's we all love each other and we love family, and she was upset and she was teary, and I said, calm down, stop crying, and I'm her strength, and of course, I say, when you see me cry, then that's when you cry. Because when I cry, then that means I'm worried. But not all the time, because sometimes when I pass tears, it's not that I'm worried. It's just that I see something that moved me in the direction that it brings tears. And yes, I'm a man, and I don't mind saying that sometimes I cry. And I have cried a lot, and I have cried sometimes. When you get to be my age, you're going to do some crying. And I tell you, that my soul have been weeping and it has wailed, especially in knowing that I lost my daughter and my mother, my two brothers. My brother Henry Holt died exactly 1 year before my sister. This is my big brother. He's I'm the old. My dad was married twice, and he was the baby boy on that side. Him and I was so close, and I tell you, it hurt me. It's one of the things. The first thing that hurt me more than anything was my dad. I cried. I wept. My soul was wretched. I mean, it really hurt me to see my father, that I wasn't gonna ever see him again. The next time it was Henry, it hurt me even worse because he was a true big brother. He was always there for me. And I tell you, the next thing, my daughter, well, my mom died the same year my brother died. My brother died in August. This is my dad's son. And him and I looked alike. My brother died in August, August the 17th, and my mother died. Excuse me a little bit. My mother died um, September the 7th of 2019. So you can see that was traumatic for me. That was trauma for me twice. First, my dad, then he died in '89, so I had plenty of time. It took me about 10 years to get over that. And my professor helped me get over that by telling me in a sense, he said, in a sense, Mr. Holt, your dad is not dead. I looked at him like he was crazy. He said, because I said, what you talking, like, what this, like Arnold from Different Strokes? What you talking about, man? But I didn't say that. I thought I was saying myself. Really, I was thinking what this fool talking about. And anyway, he said he lived on. He's a Lion King, and I said to myself because I didn't say it to him. Now he really done lost his damn mind now. And then Lion King, like I'm thinking again, like what the f are this man talking about? And but either way, when the monkey hit Simba upside the head, I guess that's his name. He said, looking and you look in the mirror, he saw his dad. He said he lives on in you. And wow, like a burden was lifted off of my shoulders. Almost 10 years to the date that my dad had been died. And I breathe that long. My family don't know this, but I used to come travel on the highway and all of a sudden I just start crying, missing my dad. And so that was kind of traumatic for me, but it was good. And so my dad and then my brother, that hurt so bad. My soul was wretched. I cried so hard. And then bless them. Then my mom, that was just unbelievable. On my daughter Arizona's birthday, September the 7th, 2019. And then the next thing, less than a year later, I lose my daughter Korea on July the 18th. Now the way it is, so my daughter and my brother died on the same day, and their funerals was on the same day. And my nephew said, "Oh, it's too much for me to." This is Hearing Hope Jr. He said, "Uncle, it's too much for me to deal with. I'm sorry, my condolences, but I can't make it." And he did. And then he told me, he said, "Daddy died on the same day, yo. My cousin died. Daddy funeral was on the same day, and it overwhelmed me." And wow. And so then, of course, my light went out. Then the next thing, you know, after losing my daughter Korea, then a year later I lose my brother Wayne in October. So this is a lot. Wow. Of course, then my dog died. He didn't die; he was killed, and Percy Blaine killed him. Yeah, he killed my dog. He just tried to do everything. Y'all hear too, but talk to me. He said, "Bro, why you bringing that man in? He killed every shot." I just too bad. Let me tell my story. That's my opinion. He did kill my dog. That's what I think. That is my fact. That's what I think. So I'm saying that, folks, meaning I did not see him, but Percy killed my dog. But if Percy sent somebody about it to kill my dog, or somebody killed my dog because they know Percy don't like me, or Percy's trying to get rid of me and destroy me or make me leave by any means necessary so that he can be reelected mayor, then Percy killed my dog. Now that's my story, and I'm gonna stick to it. But anyway, my sister Joanne, when I go in there and I tell Rhonda, okay. So my brother Kurt called me. I had plans what I was gonna do today. My younger brother, my baby brother, bro, come pick me up. Too much going on. Finna go up there. We going to see. He didn't ask me. He told me we're going to see Joanne. Well, I just said, okay, I'm on the way. He said, whoa. I got to go by the VA. Then come. I said, I'll be there between 10 and 10:30 because I was there between 10 and 10:30. We went to Huntsville. And I told my Rhonda, don't you cry because when you see me cry, then you can cry. Now, folks, I got to tell you, I'm glad my sister Rhonda wasn't with me because the first thing I did when I saw my sister is I started crying. Now, I didn't go, hoo, but that silent man cry, just the tears just started coming down my face. And every time I wipe them, they come back. And I'm glad my sister Rhonda didn't come because she'd say, oh, boy, my brother crying, so my sister must be really bad off. But I was so glad to see her. I hadn't seen her in a long time. I hadn't seen Erica in a long time. I hadn't seen my little great niece in a long time. I was glad to see my family. And it was overwhelming. And then I want to see my family doing good. I don't want to see my family when I have a sister or a brother that's in the hospital and in such a way that I could not see them anymore. I can tell you, my heart is too raggedy. Uh, 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 and what I mean is that I'm metaphorically speaking, meaning that I have experienced so much hurt and so much trauma that I could not stand to lose another family member at all, especially a sibling or a child, and that would destroy me. And either way, I'm there seeing it. So my sisters tell me that she had a problem and this problem and that problem. And I'm not going to discuss it with you because I don't really believe in sharing certain things like that. And that is my sister. But anyway, the nurse came in. And so I have a question to ask. If you tell me that my finger is crooked, then I want to know why it's crooked. I want to know what caused it to be crooked and when will it straighten up or what's the prognosis. I want to know what you diagnose, and then I want to know what it is going to be to fix it. Prognosis, diagnosis. Anyway, this little black nurse came in there and she started talking. And when she started talking, my brother Kirk had already asked questions. And so now he's the neurosurgeon or neurologist had already talked to my brother Kirk. And so um, Now, I'm just going to tell you a little bit about me. You can talk to me about science matters. If you're a doctor, you're not going to be able to talk over my head. If you're a scientist, I don't care what it is that you know how to do. I'm somewhat versed on it, so I'm going to understand it, and I'm going to use all my mental resources, my contact group, or whatever, in order to really get further information if necessary. But either way, this lady started speaking and everything. When she's finished speaking, and I think it's okay for me to say this. When they did the, I guess the EEG, whatever kind of the ultrasound, to see when they were looking at the brain, to see what's going on with her brain activity, they noticed that she had a dark spot on a section of her head. Now, this dark spot is my concern. Okay, now my sister didn't ask, her daughter didn't ask, and no one asked. Now, my concern is if there's a dark spot on my brain, on my sister's brain, I want to know what caused that brain spot, that dark spot. I want to know what's the prognosis. I want to know if it's a dark spot and it's on the brain. I want to know whether or not it's benign or malignant, whether or not it's cancerous or non-cancerous. So I want to know. And so I asked this to tell this lady. So I need to know that. And so she said, well, the doctor already talked to one person. And so, but my brother Kirk said, the man saying things that I didn't quite understand. So I brought my brother here, my older brother, who will understand. And so the doctor goes, either way, she said, I said, so what I would like for you to do is I'd like to give you my phone number so that you could give it to him so that he can call and he can talk to me and tell me exactly what's going on so I can explain it to my sister and her daughter. And this lady went on, she said, well, there's a board right over there. You get over there and you write it on the board exactly what it is that you want. Now, I took offense with that. I said, whoa, I said, I'm not doing anything. I don't work here. I said, I came all the way. It's my duty. I'm not going to write on that board. I said, that's what you do. I said, you can, man. And then she said, hold up, wait a minute. And then she started talking and started saying things in her voice. She put more and more, I'll say, consternation in her voice. She became more and more intense and more rude, and her voice started elevating and speaking louder. And so I listened to her for like about 5 minutes, really. And I said, and she kept on talking, and I noticed her voice elevated. I said, could you put a pin in it for a minute? And I put it, and she stopped talking. I said, look, I said, I don't need to hear all that. I said, I didn't come here for that. I don't work at this hospital. This is your job. I said, I just asked you to write it down. I said, just tell me, she left out. She said, let me just go and get somebody else to talk to you. And that's fine. So the charge nurse, this is the person that's in charge for that particular shift, came in and she started speaking. She said a doctor said that he has already spoken with 2 or 3 people and he wasn't going to speak to anyone else today, but he will tomorrow. I said, it doesn't matter to me that he don't speak to me today as long as he called me and explained to me what's going on. And so she said, okay, give me your number and write your number down on a piece of paper and I'll give it to the doctor. And so I guess I gave it to her and she called him and so he came back and that's when he said, but either way, she explained that the dark spot on my sister's brain was neither benign nor cancerous, that it was something that was caused. Let's say a stroke happens when it breaks and blood goes everywhere, and aneurysm. Aneurysm is that the blood build up because of a blockage, or a blockage causes stroke. It's a weakening of the artery walls in the brain. It start building up like a balloon and then explode. Usually death is instantaneous in that case. So it was not an aneurysm. It was a stroke, which is usually a blockage, usually caused by blood clots. And if they're big enough, obviously, I'm assuming that they were small blood clots because it created a little small. Understand that the human body is a compilation of cells, and the cells need oxygen and blood in order to live. So when any part of your body does not get blood and oxygen, that part of the body dies. So, and when your heart stops, it cannot send blood to the body. So you're literally dead. And sometimes they can revive through CPR and bring your heart back. And so either way, um, So now I understand, but then in the process, we find out. In other words, me going up there, my brother taking me up there was a good thing. But we was getting ready to go, and my other sisters was on the way. But Kirk needed to get back, and I needed to get back too. So we're about to leave. I promise you, folks. Uh, Top flight security came in. The two security guards came in. A female came in first, and us came in. Sir, we came here to escort you out of here. I said, well, Kurt said, you don't, I said, now I'm gonna tell you folks, when they talk about escort me out of here, I'm for what is it, what you finna escort me anywhere? Now, Kirk defused the issue immediately. Kirk, man, I'm telling you, my little young brother, man, I tell you, see, I had forgotten about my education and I went all the way back to street life. I'm like I'm what you call passive aggressive, meaning that I'm all the way passive like I am now, or either I'm all the way upset now. Now my aunt called me educated fool before. Folks, she was telling the truth. Two Bell said, "Now, bro, what you talking about? Educated fool? That's oxymoronic. That's like a contrast. No, 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 no. I am very, very educated, and on either level, I'm educated. But right here, I'm educated and passive. I'm able to talk to you. I'm able to understand what you carry on a honest conversation, an intelligent conversation. We can talk about whatever it is that you want to talk about. First thing, if we need to discuss a problem, we can discuss that problem, how what we need to do to solve the problem. Now, that's the passive side of me. Now, the aggressive side of me, that I'm still educated, but now I'm a damn fool. So when she said I was an educated fool, she told the truth. Because when I get over here, I'm a damn fool. I'm an act a fool. I'm destructive. I'm dangerous. I am controllable. I am like, I'm worse than a stick of dynamite. I'm worse than canned heat because not only do I know how to fight, I know the pressure points of the body. I know all this stuff. I will use anything that's in my hand when I'm on this level. And I have to, now look, when I'm up here, it's just like a car run out of gas at the top of the hill. I ain't gonna just come all the way down like that. I cannot go back here. So it's like a stair step. It's steps and stages I have to go through to get back down there. And when that person came up in there, first I felt threatened, and then of course I'm looking at you. I glean both of them immediately. Do they have weapons? How big they are? What? And so they were big and fat. They both weighed about 400 pounds. Two belt. No, I'm not being funny. I'm literally telling the truth. If you're talking about made up like a football, 400-pound football with arms and legs, and I mean, I'm 5'6". They was at least 6 feet two each. The man and I never seen anything like it. And so my thing is now how I'm gonna have to, how am I, if these people grab me, if these people come at me aggressive, this is the first thing I never seen them before. What is it that I'm gonna do? So I already picked my location where I was gonna hit it. My brother Kurt jumped up immediately, says quick as I thought where I'm gonna hit them at to take both of them out. The first thing, now when I say hit, I'm talking about hit, whether it's with an elbow, whether the fist, whether with a hand striking eye, whatever. When I hit, I'm talking about with all my resources. What do I need to do? And the person closest to me was the one I was going to take out first. But Kurt diffused the issue so quick. He said, let's go. He jumped up and going. One thing my brother said that he said that when a person come at you and you start, now I can't say it like he said, but he said that when they come at you, he said you can stay there. He said ain't gonna do nothing but cost you money and create a situation. He said, but you can lead them. You can lead them with their feelings and all that kind of stuff, and you don't save yourself money and time. He said that's how you win. And it made so much sense. There's so many times that I have gotten in trouble because I stood there and argued with you, or either if I dare, but when I was arguing with you, but they came in so aggressive. But I tell you what, I'm finna leave now. I'm gonna tell you the reason why I looked at it too is that if they would have put their hands on me anywhere, I was gonna lose them. I was gonna get their hands off of me. Anyway, they did not follow neither Kurt nor I. And the lady seen us leaving, and she was saying something to me. Kurt, and you don't need to hear that. Come on, let's go. And so right here, I go over there. I hear the lady. The lady said that you, well, anytime a nurse feel threatened, they have to remove you from the hospital. I said, did you feel threatened? She said, no, I did not. So the little heifer that wanted me to write on the wall. Now, understand, what person ever told someone to write on the wall instead of doing their job? See, but guess what? Oh boy, my sister Joanne said, now y'all need to start my transfer papers. Now my niece got upset, and we gonna watch how this end up. Now my brother Kurt said, don't even worry about it, because it's nothing to worry about. But anyway, it wasn't long. We were leaving and everything, but we were leaving anyway. But they didn't like escort me up out of here. They said the wrong thing anyway, because anytime I'm being escorted, it's gonna be KQ right here, or female, or it ain't gonna be no, or either I'm taking my daughter down to get married or something like that, or I'm taking my daughter on some kind of event or something like father-daughter things like that. That's the only time I'm gonna be escorted. And the only other time, if I'm gonna get escorted and I don't do anything about it, it's because I can't do anything about it, because I'm getting that escort to that final ride, that ride that you don't feel. Y'all know what I'm talking about. Sunset Memorial Resting Gardens. I'm just making up stuff, but the names, I know the name because I know where my mother is and my brother is. But anyway, that's what happened today. So again, welcome to Reaching Out with Eddie. What I want you guys to do is I want you to put your comments in. I want you to start spread the word, because we're back. So I'm going to pick up my notes now, and there's a couple of things I want to talk about. And if you notice, my title is "Don't Throw Your Vote Away." Stop it. Too bad, bro. What you talking about? Bro, let me explain to you, Tube Bell. How you doing, Tube Bell and Miss Tube Bell? What I want to tell you is that we're throwing our vote away, especially when you're on a local level, and when you're in states like Mississippi and Alabama, the southern states such as Florida and Texas, and you can go into your counties such as like Lauderdale counties, like Meridian, Mississippi. You wasting your damn money if you with the Democratic Party, you voting Democrat, because there ain't no meat in the Democratic Party. There's no meat in the Democratic Party anywhere in America. Tell me where it is. It's not there. You got to go where the money is. You got to go where the power is. Now, I can tell you one thing about Wolfing in Alabama, and Kurt helped me see this, is that Wolf in Alabama, that's the mayor of Alabama. Now, y'all heard me complain about how Birmingham, I told you, I think on the previous show, how you could go downtown Birmingham. It was always a club black people could go to, whether it's hip hop, whether it's blues, or whether there's some kind of show, even strip club. None of that is there now. But he is very progressive, and what he did, and here I already know that the Republican Party has to meet, but not only the Republican Party has to meet, but white folks has the money. They have the money. So you're going to tell me that white folks going to continue to put money into a place, a location, a club, or street, or avenue, and it's not going to benefit them? Why should white folks put money into a place for black folks to go and have a good time? And that's just like throwing money out of the way. And so that's the reason why cities such as Meridian, Mississippi, or you go into Greene County, like Utah, Alabama, that county is a majority black county. All the meat has left that county. There's no money there. There's no industry there. They got the casino there. That's basically what's keeping that city and that county going. And of course, the state troopers, the sheriff, and the police giving people tickets. That's how they put money into their tax base, is by giving you tickets. When you go to court, you're going to get found guilty. If you don't believe me, just get a ticket or get in trouble. And they make it so cumbersome that when you do go to court, sometimes, such as the last young lady heard, shoot, I ain't coming back. Shoot, I'm finna go ahead on and plead guilty. Wow, man, when anytime you give up your rights, and I appreciate my sisters, them filing, the person you talk to when you have a problem such as what we encountered in Huntsville, Alabama today at Crestwood Hospital, is that you go to the hospital administrator. I assure you that person, when it's all said and done, that little nasty attitude, she said, I don't know what kind of nurse she could have been. they really need to check and see her qualifications on her education, because she didn't act in a professional manner. What she didn't like is because I was more educated than she was. What she didn't like is that I could speak in a manner that perhaps maybe she didn't understand. What she didn't like is that she was using title, anger, and position in order to try to intimidate me and make me be quiet. And I got tired of hearing that heifer talk. And I now the the passive part of me said, could you put a pin in it, please? But the aggressive part of me saying, heifer, won't you shut the hell up? Now, not hell. Y'all know I used the F word in my brain. That I just was real nice and very polite. I never raised my voice. And so when my brother and I was getting ready to leave anyway, we just got to, hey, Cursor, we getting ready to go anyway. My man, as fast as I assessed the person, my brother Kurt was just as fast in neutralizing the situation. He said, why stay there? He said, you stay there. He said, then it's going to turn into something where we're going to have to spend money. Or one of us gonna be on the run. Now we already know the one gonna be on the run gonna be me. As far as me running because I'm afraid, no. I run to keep keep them from getting their hooks in me, and then I send my lawyers in to fix it and take care of it. That's my that is my mode of operantus. Y'all call it MO. I want to talk about folks. I tell you that. When I said don't throw your vote away, and that's what you're doing. And I'm not saying that because Percy Bland was an atrocious mayor that created a criminal empire in Meridian, Mississippi. Meridian, Mississippi, under Percy Bland's administration, became a criminal empire. Percy controlled everything, and he had people doing things. Percy was investigated by the FBI. The FBI actually talked to him. He told me that out of his own word because I knew it already, because there were so many reports put on him. And one of the things that the FBI did not want to do, and I can tell you that I personally did complaints with the FBI, to the FBI, with their intake personnel. No, I'm not a snitch, but you understand what I went through. You understand that the political atmosphere in Meridian, Mississippi, Lauderdale County, they wear their feelings on their sleeve. They come after you when I am what you call a social media influencer or people's advocate. And I don't do as many expose as I could do so. But I want to tell you this is that I don't feel comfortable voting in the Democratic Party. I do not. And you know what the Dice Man said that long time ago. And it is you're wasting your vote. What is it that you're getting for your vote? What is it that you're getting? Just to say bragging rights? The hell with bragging rights. Having a black president didn't benefit us. Having a black mayor didn't benefit us. We lost things on the Percy Bland. Look at Lower Fifth Street in Meridian, Mississippi. It has been basically torn down. And the only thing that's still there basically is the Connor Young building, the place where what they call was Stokely Carmichael, Rochester Jones, and all of them. They were there in the Field and Brooks building. Judge Young tore it down. I tried to buy it from her, and she wouldn't sell it to me. Now, in her defense, she paid about $12,000 for it. No, it was given to her, something like that, but she had to pay money for something. I think by the time she was going to tear it down. And Roscoe Jones actually is an architect or engineer or something like. He's very educated, and he knows how to draw plans up, build things and stuff like that. He had a degree. He got his degree in it, I think, master's. And I want to deviate a little bit and hope he's okay. He's paralyzed. He'll never walk again. He's in Texas now, and he's able to do things, but his mind is fresh. But Rochester Jones is a native of Meridian, Mississippi, Lauderdale County. One of the first Marine Corps officers in the military from Meridian, Mississippi, if he's not the first. For him to come from short pants, come from walking the streets bare feet, He educated himself, got a college degree, and went into the Marine Corps as a first lieutenant, as a second lieutenant. And I tell you, he was not treated right. He ran for mayor and did not get votes. That's like me. I ran for justice court judge. I ran for city council. It was me, my investigation. It was my research. It was me going before the council that had Tyrone Johnson removed from this Ward 2 city council person. I did that. Nobody helped me did that. No attorney did that. And I was so smooth with it, folks, is that I did a research of the law because I know they had to vote for him to be removed from office. And I pointed out, I did the research in the law and pointed out to the council people that if they did their duty, we're going to call it dereliction of duty. I pointed out the law, the statute, gave them copies of it, that if you did remove him, that you yourself is breaking the law and that you could go to jail. And I know niggas in Mississippi ain't going to jail for another Negro. They're just not going to do that. And they voted to have him removed. You couldn't beat him snatching his stuff and getting up and leaving up out of there. And so Meridian is a very polarized community. And that's sad. And just because person wanted to stay in power, under Percy Bland, you had, I hate to say this, but I know factually, well, not factually, I'm told by a reliable source that when Davon Hardy was, when they came in contact with Davon Hardy, and I hate to say this, and my condolences to the Hardy family, is that they was there and the 911 operator and everything heard 3 shots go, pow, pow, pow. One of the individuals that was in the vehicle with him was so afraid for his life because he saw it and he told the family that. So folks, you know, when your family heard shot, kill, anything, the first thing you're able to do is to go and see your child. And when your child is dead, they're gonna let you see your child, your mother, your brother, your family member, your next of kin, whomever they let you do. Well, I can tell you that his mother was outside screaming and hollering, say, y'all done killed my son. They would not let her in there to see her son. Even to this day, they did not let her see them until they went and did an autopsy, probably cutting them in places that the bullet holes were. And also, they took pictures of it and also doing other things to him in order to hide and everything. Folks, don't take yourself to Anderson. Why the hell would you go to Anderson Hospital? Anderson Hospital is where he was. That's a cover up. They can't cover this shit up unless the hospital let them cover it up. The family, God, they didn't have any money to go. Where's Al Sharpton ass at? Where's the SCLC? Where's the local NAACP? Where's the national NAACP? MIA missing, MIFA missing in fucking action. Then Gary Barber, I went in there, I breached the police line. I went, yes, too, but I went across and I saw him. They killed that man. I forgot that man name. And then they made the white man sergeant and promoted everybody. That white man killed him. He didn't have no weapon or nothing. He wasn't breaking in. They killed that man. And then Ben Crump, sorry ass, was going to come in and do the lawsuit. And then a local attorney whose name is Joseph Denson, the family hired him. And when Ben Crump dropped the case, because Ben Crump law firm going to spend the money, and yeah, that's who it is. And then he dropped the case. Folks, you know why he dropped the case? If he really cared about black people's rights and black people being treated wrong, he should have brought his ass down there and did that shit. But anyway, the family didn't have money to bury their son and do all this stuff. Gary Barber family was very upset because when Crump dropped it, then Denson dropped it, and then these people here left without a law, so they can't get no justice. I thought Joseph Denson was a pretty good attorney. He fucked me. I know everything he did to me. I know everything he didn't do and things that he should have did. So you ain't gonna hear me talking about him. I ain't gonna promote no attorney. I'll promote one in Meridian, maybe 2, maybe 3. But I'm definitely not gonna promote him. It can't be about the money, folks. It's got to be about what's right and what's wrong. Sometimes you gotta can't know it. You cannot even go by the law. You gotta go by your heart. Watch Andy Griffin and learn some real shit. I know what Two Bell saying, bro, that's a TV show. Yes, but look how he did his job. And I tell you, a person that did it just like him, that's Don Lolly in Butler, Alabama. He didn't wear a gun, and that was a pretty good sheriff. Such a good sheriff that his son now is sheriff of what's that? Choctaw County, what Butler, Alabama is. Yeah, Choctaw County. All the time you can't go by the law. Laws change. Laws ain't right all the time. Let me go on, folks, and get off that a little bit. But you're wasting your vote. If you want to make a difference, then go where the money is. You always follow the money. If there's a crime, something wrong, they follow the money. And that's the best advice anybody can get, follow the money, because that's where the money is. And a lot of their account of the money is with the money and the powers with the Republican Party. Democrats ain't done nothing. The ones get in there, man, I got to tell y'all this. Taboya Alyssa is one of the sorriest individuals that anybody could have ever voted for and put in office. Now, she came up with, she submitted to the council for them to name a park somewhere around the police station where them D's and B's and C streets at, to name it after Crooms. You know Crooms, but I like Crooms too, Bell. And my family like Crooms. I was going to teach Crooms how to play guitar. Now, let me tell you what I have from a reliable source is that Crooms, this guy here, that was his wife, and those were his children. And he got there, and one of the things that Crooms allegedly, and I got to say this to protect myself, allegedly Crooms was going with that man's wife. When that man and his wife got into it, the children called Crooms up. They called him up, not 911, call him up on his cell phone. So how is it that's the reason why they're not talking about Crooms? They're not talking about what happened at that day when your chief of police talked about, Chief Young talked about Crooms. She didn't talk about the day. She said, well, the last time I saw him, this, that. They're keeping from the public that the fact that the man was notoriously known for dating married women and going with women, going with that man's wife, and that man came there, and that's how Crooms ended up there, and Crooms ended up getting killed. And so they don't name a street after Crooms, and the people that know Crooms, like where he from, they wonder why in the hell would Meridian, Mississippi name a street after Crooms? Now let's assume that everything I say is not true, because this is what I heard and what I got and gathered from a reliable source. And so let's assume now that that is not true. It's still ludicrous to name a street after anyone with all the problems they're having in Meridian, Mississippi, with hiring qualified police officers, getting police officers there to do their job and do so on a professional level. And they have a lot of them that does do that. But you have some that should not be wearing a badge, and their ass should be in jail. I'm just telling you the truth. And in my opinion, and this is based on the information that I have, factual information and some hearsay. So based on my information, factual information that I know, Percy Bland created a criminal enterprise in the city of Meridian, Mississippi. All his credit cards was maxed out. He didn't have a dime. He lived in a damn house worth about $60,000. Within 1 year, he bought Rosenbaum's house and then remodeled it. Where the hell he got that money from? I'm understanding from a reliable source that the chief of police went and sat on the porch. From a reliable source, two individuals told me this, that one person cousin told them, because she worked she worked at central office, I'm gonna call it that, and that's the housing authority main office where Ron Turner's supposed to be at, missing in action all the time because he's the ED and he don't ever hardly be there. So this person called her cousin up and told what they saw. This other person wished they did not have they phone with it because they was going to take pictures of it. The chief of police at that time pulled up in his black SUV and he sat down on the porch. He got out of the SUV with a paper bag, a big paper bag. He set the paper bag down when he got out of the SUV. When he got out of the SUV, the grandmother came out, and how about her grandson, whom now one reliable source would know this, but the reliable source that worked for Meridian Housing Authority that was there know factually that that grandson is an individual that's banned from being in public housing. So this grandson come out of the house and he sat down and started talking to this chief along with the grandmother. Two individuals walked from across the street, came out of an apartment or a car. I don't know. They didn't tell me that. Came from across the street while everybody was sitting there talking, grabbed that bag and left while the chief of police was there. And when they left, after talking a few more seconds, that chief of police got in his SUV and drove away. This is under Persis Bland administration, and y'all talking about Jimmy Smith. Deborah Young does not deal in drugs. Deborah Young may not be as qualified for as other people, but she has not done anything wrong. What she did not do is she didn't let you know the reason why Crooms, if I'm saying this right, and I'm saying this right, they had a picture of him. And it came down now because people start speaking up about him and his behavior. Now, I don't know that about him. I'm just telling you what I'm told from a reliable source. And so that sign came down. And some people that know him is really upset that a street was named after him. What is it that he do? He was killed. And you got to question it. Why hasn't this person that was arrested for killing a police officer, why have you not heard anything else about that? Now, I'm not saying that he's going off. You're supposed to get the death penalty when you kill a police officer. That's normally what they do. They hadn't even had a preliminary hearing. The media should be questioned and the media should be there and all that, but they're not, because the media, not only in Meridian, Mississippi, but everywhere else, is a part of this giant conspiracy. You can call them Rosicrucians, you can call them whatever you want to, the Illuminati. But it doesn't matter. It's just a group of people who rules the whole world. And they create wars. It's like a chess game. They play a chess game with everybody. And a lot of you out there are so mad at Russia, so angry at Russia, and so glad that the U.S. is, because the media has programmed you to think that. Now, I want you to think for your damn self, and you tell me, what has Russia done to America? Come on, tell me. I ain't got all day, but I can give you a few minutes. Come on, put it on this podcast and put it in your comments. What has Russia done to America? When has Russia attacked America? Anything to America? What has Russia done to France, England, or the United Kingdom? Or what has Russia hadn't done anything. Those people are not slaves. Ukrainians are Russian. They speak Russian language. We have sent almost $1 trillion over there, if not already, to fight a proxy war. Now let's talk about the weapons. Your HM, your HIMARS or your HIMARs, all the United States weapons. Let me just tell y'all, you have what you call subsonic, you have supersonic, and you have hypersonic. You have subsonic weapons. Sonic is the speed of sound. So you have subsonic, less than. You have weapons that move. If the speed of sound is 500, and you can Google and get the exact figures. It changes based on temperature, based on velocity, based on weather, based on where you're located. But let's say it's about 560 miles an hour. Let's say, so you got weapons that'll move almost at the speed of sound. Now, when you talk about supersonic, you're talking about weapons that will move faster, missiles that will move faster than the speed of sound. Now, when you talk about hypersonic, now you're talking about weapons that will move 5 times faster than the speed of sound. Now, do the math. Let's round this up and say, let's round it up to say 700. So 5 times 7 is 35. So when you talk about hypersonic, you talk about a weapon that will move 35, let me see, you got 3,500 miles per hour. That's a pretty fast missile. It's moving faster than an airplane. Russia has hypersonic weapons. Russia confiscated missiles that did not blow up or either when they went in and destroyed or ran or killed the enemy and these weapons are there. I'm going to show you guys actual pictures of United States weapons. No, I'm not happy about this, but all the U.S. weapons, most of them, or the majority of them, are subsonic. So those of you that bleed and lies, even this second thing, man, that Russia stopped them. No, I'm not excited. I want you guys to start thinking for yourself and do your research and stop listening at the lies that the United States media and WTOK are telling you and the things that they're not telling you. You're hearing it from the grapevine that is happening. You're hearing it from Lolo that is happening. You're hearing it from me that is happening. You heard it from your friend that is happening. Why is it that WTOK ain't focused on shit but damn advertising about the dying mall or other stuff like that? Meridian Star newspaper is about thin as a razor. The WTOK ain't talking about nothing. They'll keep it, they got you bamboozled. How about they told you that they shot the hypersonic? Come on now. Come on. How can you take a bow and arrow and shoot a bullet down? That's the difference between the two. They shot those HIMARS have, let's say, 32 missiles on it. That thing came in for Russia tool belt. They fired all 32 missiles at it and missed it. Couldn't even touch it. There's no way it could. That thing came in there, hit and destroyed, and they claimed that they shot it down and the shrapnel from it fell on the machine to shoot the missiles out of the HIMARS vehicle, and it took it out, and it took it out of commission. Come on now, y'all think for yourself. Now tell me, how is this possible? Tool Belt and I, we military. My brother Kirk, we're military. We know what happened when you hit a missile in the air. You can Google that stuff. It exploded in the air. Only thing gonna fall to the ground. Look, you know, airplanes that fall in the ground, they don't find no bodies or nothing like that. What about if they hit the ground? They don't want to find anything. So you gonna tell me that they shot a missile down in the air and it exploded in the air and the debris fell down and it destroyed that? No, what actually happened is that hypersonic weapon that moves 3,500 miles per hour was shot down by something that moved less than 600 miles per hour. Ain't no way possible. No way possible. And not only that, it has maneuverability. It's like me. You swing at me right here, you come at me like, oh, I'm gone. That's how that thing can move around. It thinks for itself. The United States, Google it. The United States tried to make one. They lost billions of dollars because they could not do it. The scientists that they have hired could not do it too well. Google it. So they abandoned the project. So now they find a proxy war with Russia. Proxy means fake, meaning it's actual the United States. Man, Russia is, the Ukrainian can't do it. Zelensky is an actor, a popular actor that became president, like Donald Trump. He's already a multi-billionaire from the money that Biden is sending over there, and they siphon it off. Some of the weapons are ending up in other parts of the country, and you guys can support that, and you're mad at Russia, who hadn't done anything to us at all, and you bleed the lies. But what is WTOK saying to you? Look how they done made Crooms into a hero, and he's not. He was an adulterer. He was messing with a married man's wife. My uncle, Eddie Miller, the late Eddie Miller Harris, my mama's brother, killed a white man in Marengo County for having sex with his wife. Billy Smith, the sheriff of that county, put him in jail, and my family know I'm telling the truth. He stayed in jail a whole year, but the law back then, you could beat children. So Michael Jackson talking about he was abused as a child. Shit, every child that came up back then, white and black, was abused. Look at Andy Griffin show. And the little boy acting out, he's spoiled. And this Bill Bixby was his dad. Whoever was his dad. No, it wasn't Bill Bixby. The little boy was acting out. I want my bicycle. I want my bicycle. And then Andy said something about he was going to, hey, look now, if he don't stop him, I'm going to put you in jail. Let him do it, Dad. Let him put you in jail. I want my bicycle. And the man realized that his son was very selfish and he had not been reading right. And Andy said, I have a woodshed in the back. All of you know what the woodshed means. Take him back there and beat his ass. So all that shit Michael Jackson talking about, his ass ain't goddamn 20 years old. He ain't. He ain't even 20. He went, hold up. In order for Michael Jackson, when he talking about they was abused, when Michael Jackson told that story, he would have had to have been 2 years old. And then all of you to know back there, so he wasn't abused. But my point of it is, again, is that Crooms was messing with that man's wife, and he's a police officer too. And so him being a police officer, of course, he had lost his job because trying to follow her around. I tell you what, folks, it ain't nothing worse than a no good wife. It ain't nothing worse than that, because a no good woman and a two-faced man been caused of the trouble since the world began. If you don't believe me, ask James Brown. He said a two-faced woman and a two-faced woman and a no good man has been the cause of trouble since the world began. Now that man lost his job in Newton. He was a police officer in Newton. And that's what he lost his job because he was following his wife and stuff like that. And shoot, man, and he called Crooms up in there. Either he got to fighting his wife because of that, and the baby called Crooms. I don't know what his first name, Robert Crooms, whatever, called him by his first name, come get it. That man snapped. When Crooms came there, man, he killed him. So you know, and that's what people do. It's too many people don't kill folks for messing with their woman, but they ain't letting the truth come out. And guess what? And they don't want to give him a preliminary hearing. Y'all Google this stuff, other officers that been killed, how the media stay on top of it, how they take them to preliminary hearing real fast, and the media is there, everything. And when you go to court, the media is there. Where is the media now? Because they don't want you to know the real story about Crooms, because they don't win and name a street after him and things like that. But the chief of police know. The city of Meridian know. They all know. The police officers know. But you don't know because the media ain't telling you, and they don't bamboozle you, because he was a nice person. But he messed with other men ladies and married women. That's one of the things that most police officers is notorious for, being whores, male and female. Now, I could call some names, but I'm not going to. So let's go on again and talk about some other things. Okay. I gotta tell y'all to don't be fooled by media propaganda, because that's all it is. The media is nothing but propaganda. You can't I would like to think that most of you out there and the people you know have at least average intelligence. You don't have to be a genius. You don't have to be a rocket scientist to do your research, and always, before you accept what someone say as being factual information, first look at the source. Look at the facts. Go and see what the facts are for yourself. History is nothing but lies. History. Look at the true facts. They're trying to wake everybody else. So you got people that are woke. What they don't want to do is they want to tell their story, not the true story or the real story. They want to tell history, his story. That's what they want to tell. And how can they tell their story if your story is there? So they want to take your story and hide it and get it out of the way so that they can tell their story. And slavery didn't happen. There's no way in hell that anyone benefit from being enslaved, being a slave, or being in slavery. Blacks became slaves because they went into Africa. Google it. They went into Africa. They was enslaving everybody. If they went into your country and they destroyed you, the first thing they did is they enslaved the men. If they want to conquer your country, they enslave the men, and they enslave the children and the women. Of course, the women become their concubines or their whores. But if they want to destroy a race, they killed the men. All of the men were killed in Egypt. Don't you believe that? I'm too light-skinned to be an Egyptian. You understand now. Just go back 5,000 years. How is that a light-skinned brother like me can be in the sub-Saharan, be in the desert? How can any person can be in the desert and not be cold black? If you don't believe me, just go look at it today. So how is it that if that's how they look in Africa, that was never conquered by Napoleon, who killed all the men, not some of them, all the men in Egypt, except for the women, because black women are so beautiful, so sexy, and they mate with them. So you look at Egypt today, and you'll see Egyptians that are black, like the hat on my head, with straight hair, like some of you sisters out there wearing that you done got from the weed shop. And you'll see some of them with big nose like black folk. And then they got light skin. So you can go and see some of the Arabs and stuff that around in your local community, and you can see the same thing. You can see some of them that are darker than I am, or darker than you. And you can see some of them that are light-skinned. You can see some of them that have an afro already. You can see some white folks like that too, Bell. You know what that means. They passing. They folks done pass. Because you can pass. The passing ain't number lying. Lying catch up with you. Every time I see a white person with curly hair, I look at them. I say, now your folks done lied somewhere down the road. And so I kind of like just wanted to go on and tell you about that, right? Folks, do you realize that rules are designed to create order? But it appears that rules doesn't apply to white folks. Look at Donald Trump. Look at all the charges he had. What's wrong with you white folks out there? I got to ask y'all that. What the hell wrong with y'all? Now, if that was me, I didn't get a job because of the fake charges that's on me and that's been dropped. And I didn't get a job because of that. I can't even see my grandson because of them fake charges and they've been dropped. Here, Donald Trump had more indictment than I have ever received in my life. And he got y'all still supporting him and talking about he mistreated. And Donald Trump ain't number one line SOB. That's all. He's a liar. He's a rapist. He's a nepotist. Donald Trump he's an actor. He's the worst MF that anybody could ever allow to run. Let's take and change his color to black and put some nap ass hair on his head. You wouldn't be standing by him now. Come on, tell a lie, shame the devil. What's wrong with you white folks? You like because he say shit. You like because he got rid of a woman right to make choices by his body. Donald Trump ain't always been like that. He telling you crackers what the fuck y'all want to hear. He's still better than Joe Biden, though. I just got to tell y'all that. I ain't with Joe Biden. I'm spending all that money over in the Ukraine. That's real bad. Folks, I got to tell y'all, you see me looking at the belt. Y'all, I saw Two Belt. That Two Belt, boy, I tell you, man, I saw Two Belt the other day and talked to Miss Penny. I love my family. That's all I can say. What up, Two Belt? I know Q out there. Why say, hey, Q. Hey, body snatcher. Okay, let me think about it. Let me see. What up, shot caller? What's up, hostage negotiator? Two Bell said, now, brother lost his mind. Bro, I know get up in the age, but I ain't lost my mind. Yeah, you just stay in your lane, Two Bell. Y'all know Two Bell still building that stuff, boy. You know what? I gotta tell y'all, boy. But I'm the steam shovel, and Two Bell to John Henry. Shoot, John Henry, boy, the steam shovel. John Henry made the steam shovel blow up, boy. I'm telling you, boy. My brother, he's real good at what he do. I'm gonna tell y'all this, folks. I gotta tell y'all this is that if you look at it, that our leaders are frozen. They're frozen. They're not doing anything for us. Now they're building things that create money, but like when you build a building such as these big high-rise buildings, it costs a lot of money. Somebody got to provide the steel, the cement, the electrical, the plumbing, all that stuff, the insulation. And so the people that own those companies benefit for those buildings. And if those buildings are non-productive, then it costs you back and that's what bankrupt a city. Now Meridian has all this stuff, and it has a majority black situation. It has a majority black citizenry. There's more black people in Meridian, but that don't mean nothing. But black people ain't gonna vote. Black people ain't gonna do nothing. Black people's on social media talking about each other. Black people's on social media acting like they this and that, and you ain't shit. Shit, one nothing somebody talking to another nothing somebody. Mark Zuckerberg ain't focused on you. He using you to make money because you the damn fool. When Nike, who's paying billions of dollars to have a commercial on Facebook and those other things, that's the reason why he bought all of it. Because you gonna go and spend your welfare check or your last $2 on some damn Nike shoes. But Nike is paying them a lot of money, so you're being manipulated. And I'm talking about my folks. I ain't talking about white folks. White folk got sense. They teach their children to trade. They teach their children to vote. They teach their children to stick together as a race, not as a family, but as a race. Man, and they have saturated the black community with churches, and they build their laws around that. So here we are, we create situations where we can't get empowered because we are disempowering ourselves. And that's another bad thing. But I want to tell y'all that I was in my reading the other day and I received a phone call from somebody and it said no caller ID. And so that I normally I don't answer it, and I did sometime. And I did this time. And I was at my brother's house, Ed Lynch, and I was in the basement. In the basement, you have poor service. And so this person, I answered the phone, said, hello, hello. I watch your podcast, Reaching Out with Eddie. And now if this was Too Better Kirk, they'll be saying it verbatim. So I might have a noun in the wrong place, not grammatically speaking, or I might add something that might not be there. But basically what she said is that she's a fan of the show and she really enjoyed us. She really liked my show and what I do. And she wanted to meet me and buy me a cup of coffee. And so now the first thing I want to know, first of all, how did you get my phone number? Folks, a lot of my family members don't have my phone number. Because I've only had this number maybe since I changed this number maybe since April of this year. So how is it somebody that's a fan of my show that's been going on for 4 years gonna have a number that I've only had a couple of months and telling me they're a fan of mine and that they want to meet with me and give me a cup of coffee? That's ludicrous. And so what I do now, I'm listening at it. It's a white woman, and based on the sound of the voice, it's a young white female. And so when I go to sit down, I didn't say anything. I was getting ready to ask my second question. Why do you want to meet with me, and what it is that you want to talk about? Hey, look, but either way, they say hello, hello. And I was saying hello. I said, I can hear you, but you can't hear me. And so they kept saying hello. So after saying hello a couple of times, folks, I stopped like then because Two Belt just told me in my ear. He said, bro, she said hello, hello. That ain't 2 times, that's 3 times. Two Belt, let me tell my story. Don't you do that. But anyway, she said hello, hello. And then hello. Y'all saw how I did that. See how the voice changed, the sound changed. So she said this next because she thought that I had hung. She said, I think this motherfucker hung the phone up in my face. She said, I think this motherfucker done hung the phone up in my face. That's okay. I know where he stayed. Now she said that. Now that shook me up. And I could hear a sound next to her. Now that shook me up. And so now I know I done told some of y'all out there I'm a bad man. Now I'm finna tell the truth and shame the devil. I'm a scary man. I was so scared. I'm gonna tell you why I was so scared. I was so scared because this person done said that I could hear their anger and their hate in their voice. And I did not have anybody around me to protect me. I didn't have no security personnel or anything. My sons wasn't nowhere around or anything like that. That I'm talking about. I mean, it made me apprehensive. And so immediately I called Q up. I called my son Xavier. I called Q up and put Q on it. Told her contact T-Mobile. My sister-in-law, Mrs. Lynch, told me I needed to inform the police. So I called one of my folks, one of my peeps that's in law enforcement, and I asked them their advice on that. Basically, what I wanted to know: do the police force have the technology to locate? And he said, no, you're wasting your time. And so he said, don't even do it. And so then that person informed me. He said, what you need to do is that you need to get in a place where you can protect yourself. And he said, protect yourself at all times. And so that's when I went. I didn't go to my shop on 8th Street. The reason why I didn't go to my shop on 8th Street is because if this person got my phone number, then they know enough about me to know that I'll shop on 8th Street. So I went and parked behind my son's apartment, and I called him and I said, son, I think somebody's trying to kill me. And he said, Dad, where are you? I said, I'm at your back door. I'm in the car. I said, I'm parked behind your apartment. And he came outside. Now I'm gonna tell you that son of mine, Zay, came out looking crazy, and he had a 9 millimeter in his hand, and he had it at the ready. And of course, Lil G and Tay was like, "Daddy, where are you?" He said, "Daddy, come get me right now." And so I went and got my son. And when I went and Zay got in the car, and I went and picked up my son. Now I feel okay. And so now on that bad MF again. But because I tell you, man, it's hard to be somewhere when somebody, you think somebody gonna kill you. They know where you are, but you don't know anything about them. And so what I did, I felt better. So by this time, I'm on the phone with T-Mobile and Q. Well, Q was in Alabama and I was in Mississippi. By this time, T-Mobile told us how to show the number, and it works. And it did. And the phone number came up. This is what came up. It came up 662 255 3743. And I immediately, I said, Q, call that number and tell that heifer this and tell that, you know. And anyway, I said, be careful on what you say, because when you say things over the telephone, you can't threaten a person, because that's a fine. If you threaten someone over the fine, that's a misdemeanor in the state of Mississippi that can give you up to 6 months in jail and a minimum of a $500 fine. So you can't threaten them. So you have to be careful what you say on the phone. And understand, when you text it to a person, you can delete it, but they still got it. Even if you delete it and they got it, it's in the cloud. So you can always pull things out of the cloud. That's what happened to the Russell girl. They pulled all that stuff out of the cloud and knew everything about her. And now she got an attorney facing possible felony charges. Anyway, again, the number 662 255 3743. And so I go to social media, and we did all these things. And so it came up, once we finally did a little research, that this was a person named Monica Ford and had a picture of a black woman up there. And at this particular time, now I'm realizing that even that itself is probably a fake page, because then we see, well, just 3 days prior to that, this person had did something to a male, threatening them and that kind of thing. And so this is something that somebody do. And so I talked to a law enforcement friend of mine, and he told me this person has excellent investigative skills. And I tell you, he told me that it was law enforcement. That law enforcement try, and he said it can be multiple agents. He said that's what law enforcement do. They get something to change their voice. And I realized that that young voice was not a white person. That the number that came up, that is actually somebody's number. When I called it, when Q called it, it went straight to voicemail. A voicemail that had not been set up yet. And when I said I called it did the same thing. So I told her what to say, and that's what I said. I said, like, you know where I am, I know this number, know who you are, and know where you at. I should try it. And now when the phone hung up in my face, if it had been a legitimate call, that thing about this MF done, I think this MF done hung the phone up in my face, wouldn't have came out, and especially came out angrily, loud, and threatening. And they would not have done that. And when I sent a text, and of course I had Q put up a reward on the internet for $1,000. Me and my folks decided, we went from a 500 to 1,000, and we determined that it's best to put 1,000. And so after I didn't get a debate, I was going to after y'all excuse me for that. After I didn't get a bite, I was gonna go up to $5,000 now. Two Bell said, bro, really you gonna pay 5,000? Two Bell, yes, I'm gonna pay it. I got $5,000 right here. Let me show it to y'all. Y'all don't need to see it because y'all know my location. Q, get this and go put it in the bank. All right, put it in the safe now. But anyway, I had to come down because once I talked to other folks, they said that's law enforcement. And since I have so much going on and they hate me so much in Meridian, a lot of their county, certain people that when you think you can trust people, you can't trust people. So now that what's going on is fishing for information and that kind of thing. But I do want to tell y'all this, and is that I am really concerned about Meridian, Mississippi, whether or not I can receive a fair trial in Meridian, Mississippi, or whether or not I could even get any kind of justice in Meridian, Mississippi. I think that the powers to be have turned people against me that I once considered okay. That's one I once considered a friend or a confidant, and I no longer have that feeling now. I don't think that I can trust judges in Lauderdale County, Mississippi, to be fair toward me. Judge Wright has not ever done anything to me. But I say that Judge Roberts came in to officiate over a case of mine, but he deviated and strayed from the law. And I say that the judge that and that's what Denson sold me out at. He didn't do a good job at all, folks. I asked for a jury trial. He didn't give that to me. When I went there and I seen all them people, I thought they were selecting my jury. So I didn't get there. And so he went telling me, I'm like, where the jury trial at? Now, what I should have did is I should have stood up then and told the judge. But at that particular time, I still trusted him. And so I went in there and I lost. And I lost. And folks, if I told you this story, you would laugh. And I'm not going to tell you this story. And so Denson appealed it, but he didn't do the things that he was supposed to do in order to effect the appeal. Him being an attorney, him being an expert in everything, he knew that, in my opinion, that was intentional. I was so damn mad at Denson, I went finna pay him another damn dime for him to undo and straighten up shit that he just fucked up. Now, what he should have did is you think that I'm finna pay somebody money to go to the next step. So I fired his ass and hired somebody else. I didn't even know that he had not done the appeal, but the person that I hired next did research and found out, well, I already done. And based on the law, it's certain things that the circuit clerk's supposed to do when the attorney don't file the appeal. After he give notice of appeal, filing the appeal, he has so many days to file the appeal. When that is not done, podcast family, then the clerk's supposed to inform that lawyer that this has not been done and you're at the deadline. Let's put the deadline at 40 days. We're going to give you, and the law requires that the clerk send out a letter informing them that they have missed their deadline and that you have an additional 14 days to file your appeal. And so my attorney asked them to either relax the rule, something like that, and based on the law that was not followed by the clerk of the court. Now, how about the judge ruled against it? And this attorney has already had an appeal reversed already on this particular judge. And this particular judge here, the things that he did to me was a whole lot worse. The people, I can just tell you that I have been treated so unfairly in Lauderdale County. At one time, I consider certain judges, confidants, friends, having a personal cell phone number. I don't have none of them damn cell phone number, and I don't want it either, too, Bell, because they turn their backs on me. I didn't ask them to do nothing special for me. I don't give a damn about special treatment. I don't fucking want equal treatment. I want fair treatment. It ain't fair to me if you doing shit for me and not doing it for everybody else. It ain't fair to me if you single me out to fuck me up or either put charges on me and you don't do it to everybody else. It ain't fair to me if you take the law and you do it like you want to do it. It ain't fair to me if you ignore the law because you're in a position of authority to hit your gavel and say guilty or either denied because your friend don't like me or because you don't like what I did. Now, I can tell y'all what I think. I think I had a lot to do with Judge Primo resigning because I did certain things. What I told y'all about it, I filed judiciary performance complaint against him based on how he treated Greg Gillen, the laws that he broke, the laws that he violated, and the things even against Judge Jones. And now you can see that neither one of them is a judge anymore. Now, Judge Robbie is not a judge anymore because Percy Bland ass got fired. Y'all don't want to bring Percy Black to the mill. Y'all better look at Jimmy Smith. Ain't bad. What the hell he doing? He ain't doing none of that shit. He ain't running drugs. He ain't got his chief of police selling drugs. Shit, Percy taking money off the interstate. They had an ICE unit. ICE unit, he changed the acronym for Interstate Crime Enforcement. It's the ICE unit, folks. Google it. They got grant money. Percy Bland got grant money. They supposed to have been looking for illegal aliens, immigrants that are in Mississippi, Meridian, that are supposed to be there. They got grants for that and got in trouble for that. And they changed it from that. Y'all Google, I forgot, but I can tell y'all on the next show. They don't have the ICE unit anymore. They got something else. They had to change that name because they had to stop doing it because they got that money illegally. Folks, that white people look at Twin. Twin had to go to court. Arrington get his job back. Guess what? Twin was never paid. Arrington never stopped getting money. So you have one set of rules for black folks, and you have white folks that don't have to go by the rules. All the rules are not applicable to white folks, and that's what's wrong. Look at Hunter Biden. Hunter Biden failed to pay taxes from 1.1 million to 1.5 million. He never paid it. Wesley Snipes had to go to prison for 4 years. Y'all can Google all the black folks had to go to prison for not paying their taxes and stuff. And then it was a felony. Now he's a criminal for the rest of his life. And Biden playing game with y'all. They said, will you pardon your son? He said, no, I will not. He don't have to. Because the deal was for him to plead guilty to a misdemeanor, 2 misdemeanors on this money here. You don't have to pardon misdemeanors. He don't have to do it because he can go through the law and do it himself. And they was going to give him immunity from all other felony charges if it was me too, but Lord, lo and behold, if it was me. But I'm talking about if it was me, shoot, man. At one time when I got this stuff pardoned from Ralph Morgan, it was just 3 felonies. They had 20 counts on one felony, 20 counts on another one. Lord, we talking about $60,000. We talking about 1.1 to 1.5 million dollars that he did not pay. We talking about money he is meeting with China and Russia. He have to register himself. Anytime you meet with a foreign government, you have to register yourself in the United States, even if you're a United States citizen, as a foreign agent. They have what you call Foreign Agent Registration Act. He did not register to that. So again, you got a set of white rules for white folks, a different set of rules for black people. And we got to stop that. That's just not fair. It's not fair. Look at Donald Trump. Look how Donald Trump was treated. Look at me. I was arrested for domestic violence. I don't mind talking to you about it. That ain't the end of the story. I wasn't found guilty for it. I went to Kemper County in handcuffs. I came back from Kemper County because I had to go spend the night there. I had shackles on my feet for a domestic violence charge that I had not been found guilty of. See, a different set of rules. That's what's fucked up about America. Folks, I tell you what I'm finna do now. I'm going to read